All right, what's up? Let me go live. Let's do this. And I just realized I'm doing this from Mozilla Foxfire versus Chrome. So if it craps out, so be it. The spaghetti space appearing like my blah, blah. Okay, cool. So yeah. Anyway, what's up, everybody? Rob Ferretti, Wednesday night. And I figured I'd jump on here and answer some of your questions because, quite frankly, I'm avoiding doing stuff that I have to do. So I figured this seems like a perfect opportunity to further delay me having to work more. And I will try to get to questions. I will probably pour myself an iced tea, and we'll get to everything from there. But I'm off to Scotland next week. I just got back from both Banff, Jasper. This table is quite wobbly. Banff, Jasper, and Calgary. And I was also at Notre Dame. And Notre Dame was pretty fun. Reminds me, again, I have to do something and email somebody. DDE didn't buy my Super to my knowledge. I sold my Super to a guy in Florida. Where it went from there, who the hell knows? Blah blah blah. What do you? I don't do DDE. I don't watch the channel. I don't watch, but that's not a testament to them. I don't watch any YouTube for the most part. I did watch Rob Dom's not tease video, but the one where he actually fired up his engine, which was also sort of a tease because the end was the best part of it, where you could see it idling for a second. But I just rewatched the First to Get a Ticket video of Matt Farah. That was a classic. I did like that one. How's the budget Viper doing? $10,000 Viper is long gone. Now the budget car is the one that nobody really cares about, is the Maserati. So I'm going to blow out that car. Evo I'd like to do in December. So I've got, as far as order of events go, I've got the house project coming along. That's about to start. That's going to take up a lot of time, probably 7 or 8 months. My trip to Scotland is coming up for Adventure Drive Scouting. Then the Adventure Drives trip from Charleston to Miami is the 23rd to the 27th. Then after that, I come back. I go to SEMA, like the middle of the week, first or second week of November. Then I'm home for a while, which is terrific. After that, I don't think I have anything on the schedule. We'll schedule time to do a $500 car challenge and some other fun videos. But I've got a new guy I'm going to try out in the videographer role, and that'll come up soon because my summers are just crazy busy. So now that the summer's passed, I can start getting into the videos again, because now I'm going to sell off a couple of cars and go into sort of hibernation and planning mode for the rental car company. I'll move the 488 down to Florida, maybe one of the Huracans down to Florida. Other than that, light crew in the winter, and just plug away. So those are the videos. I'm going to do the Evo. November is going to be like focused on the house, and then the Evo build will probably be in November and December. I want to get the donk back. I want to get the truck done, the donk back. The Corvette may end up going out to Vegas for SEMA. So there's a lot going on, but I'm just trying to keep it all in front of me, and like some of it just trickles behind me and like, oops, forgot to do that. And hopefully I don't have too much of that. Hey there, do you know you have fans in Mexico? Yeah, I do have analytics, so I do know there's fans in Mexico, all over the world, actually. It's very impressive, especially when I sold the T-shirts. To see where they went all over the world was astonishing. I don't think there was a part of the world that was untouched by those T-shirts. Video heavy winter. Yeah, it'll be more videos in the winter than the summer. But I'm coming to Scotland, 121 BAM. I'm coming to Scotland next week. I'll be there Wednesday, Thursday, leave Friday. It's a quick trip, but I've got to go over to St. Andrews. I'm going to stay in Arborlower at least on the first night, and then who knows? I didn't book the remainder of the trip yet, but I'm flying into Edinburgh. No problem. I always answer my DMs because you guys send me messages. I'm not too. I may be busy, but like I'll get to them eventually. So the simpler it is, the quicker I'll get back to you. But if it's just like a comment or something, tap that like button just so you know I read it. But if it's something beyond that, I don't. I don't get to it immediately, but I get to it eventually. So I'm trying to catch some comments on the side here. Somebody asked if I fasted today because I'm Jewish. No, I do not fast. I do not observe any religious observances. I celebrate Christmas because it's fun. Halloween, July 4th. Those are sort of national holidays. Easter, sort of, but I don't really do any holidays as far as like having any meaning to me. Alan Nunya, which I think is short for Nunya Business, asked about the Evo update. The Evo update is the engine is built. The head got shipped down to the same guy who built the engine, and he's building the head now. Once the head is built, he'll put it on the engine, and then everything else just starts to stitch together. I'm trying to line everything up for a December build, so like leading up to Christmas. Maybe I'll run it in the Project Car Challenge. I sort of know what my vet could do. I want to do a better showing with my vet, but maybe I'll bring the Evo as a backup, or I don't know. I make up the rules. How much money do you need to buy a Yesco? I don't know, because the Jescos are all sold out to my knowledge. Let's see. Do you really use Charlie's butt wipes? Actually, I do, because they send them to me. But I also use, I think it's Cottonelle in the house, because they make the bigger packs. But I do the one wipe Charlie's. Awesome. Like, it's like anything that's like sanitary for that area. Like, toilet paper is stupid. Like, gotta say it. And that's not, I don't want to turn this into a plug for butt wipes, but I do not see an issue using those very frequently. I even keep the travel packs in my bags. Now they're called like groundskeepers or something like that. I think they may have changed the name. Rob, what are the pouch underwear you promoted a little bit a while ago? They're called sheath underwear, SHEATH. I always assumed he was from a Catholic Italian background. Not wrong. My mom's side was Jewish. My dad's side was Catholic. Neither of my parents are religious. So I just, and even that much smidgen of religion that they tried to like drop on me, I was like, that doesn't really make any sense. So I'm not going to pay attention to that. So therefore, I am not religious. Am I into politics? I think it's a lot of noise. Opinion on Adam LZ. I do not have a negative opinion on Adam LZ. You said, I got that. All right. AR Platinum says, appreciate the great content. Thank you. Well, you're welcome. I enjoy doing it. The 48 depreciation value after crash. So that's a complicated question. What I think you're asking for is the diminishment of value. So what it was worth separately as a result of the crash. Because diminished, the depreciation value is that it was once this and now it's worth that. The diminishment of value is the additional value lost because of the accident. I don't know until I try to sell it. It's usually like 25% though, or up to 25%. So that's like if the car is worth 200,000, it could be up to 150,000 depending on the severity of the accident. I don't know. You'd have to go back to one of my videos to see if there's a promo code for the underwear. Zane's World, thanks for the 99 cents, but you didn't even ask a question. It's like just like throwing change in the cup there. How was scouting in Canada? Please come to OTT, which OTT I think is Ottawa. Would I go on VinWiki? You're a funny man. I made like 12 VinWiki videos in one day, and he's run all of them. Scouting in Canada was fun. I saw bear. I saw things with antlers. I want to say they're moose because I'm ignorant, but they may have been elk or something else. But I enjoyed the roads up there. I enjoyed Icefields Parkway. That was a good, fun road. Supra for rental car in Colorado, since $6K under MSRP. Appreciate the real world business updates. No BS hype. They're going for $6. But yeah, I don't know any rental companies in Colorado. It's not a terrible rental car. Like, it's a rental car that I would rent for like a adventure drive trip or something where I'm going to be putting a bunch of miles on it. It's a low price point car, and it's like fun, and it looks pretty okay. But I would probably, and that's because like a Ferrari would be up here, even like an M car BMW, even though it's the same thing as a Supra, would be up here. The Supra pricing would be here, so it would be more gentle on the wallet for a comparable experience. What auto detailing products are you most happy with? I've got Adams products, Adams polishes in my shop, so you can take. One day I'll look at it all, or I'll do a story on it. Details on the open house Friday? Probably not. Although the place is clean and ready, I'm not ready for the open house. I've got dinner plans with my wife and somebody else. Michael Gabriel, you are very, very, very nosy. I've seen the same question come up a dozen times. How much does my YouTube channel generate a year on average? Enough to keep doing it. Let's put it that way. I know everybody wants the numbers. I think it's tacky to talk about the numbers. It's not. What does it matter? If you want to start a YouTube channel, start a YouTube channel. If you want to count other people's money, which I don't know why you do, then go find somebody else, because I don't think it serves a value in sharing the amount of money that the channel generates, because it's in your head. It could be 5 million, it could be 500,000, it could be 50,000. But it's irrelevant to your life, other than the fact that you're curious. I'll try to catch some of these things. I don't know if I'm going to collab with Daily Driven Exotic someday. I just think we're different. Do you go to SEMA? I will be at SEMA. I can sign the Cobra R spoiler. I'll be at SEMA, I think, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So, or in the area. So drop me a line, and I'll be there. I don't have an in-house car detailer where we run up to the car wash. I'm selling a couple of cars now. I'm selling the Mercedes AMG GT, the Bentley convertible, the Ferrari 458 coupe, and the Porsche 911, and probably the Z06, because I have two of the C8 Corvettes coming in. So that'll be a good time. And I expect two of them. They both come in January. Well, they were supposed to come in January. Everything I've read to date has been that the United Auto Workers Union strike will not affect the production of the C8s, but now it turns out that it may affect the production of the C8. So whenever the first cars get delivered, I'll get them. The strike, my thoughts on that, sort of nonsense. It turns out that the demands for the strike are leaning heavily towards the fact that they don't want GM to produce electric vehicles because they want job security, because producing electric vehicles requires less staff, more automation. And all they're saying is that we don't want you to be like unions tend to ruin companies, because we want you to lose money. We want you to not be competitive because you have to keep us here. You have to pay us even if you don't use us. it defeats the purpose, and it's sort of a undue burden on the company. I'm all for fair wages and fair labor, but I'm not a fan of the strikes and the mentality behind what settles strikes. It's okay if they strike for 6 months, we're going to lose $1 billion, so let's just give them $500 million, and then we'll just write it off. And it's a very strange approach to things. You either appreciate the work or you don't. And I'm sure a lot of people that work there do appreciate the work and appreciate the paycheck. And now they can't get a job, they can't cross the picket line, and now they're just sort of flailing along in the water. Well, the people that are really going to make out from any sort of strike are probably the union leaders and everything like that. So, I don't know. Let's see. All right, we've got DM Design 7. I'm an architect in New York City. I know the pain you're going through with the approval process in New Jersey. If you need help with anything, happy to help. Love the content. Keep it up. DM Design 7, send me an email, rob@superspeeders.com. And I will let you know. I'll send you over my current plans, and I'm not changing very much because I'm now pressing them the blueprints. But we'll see what type of architecture you do, and maybe you can help out in any way, shape, or form. It's always appreciated. The car bubble burst already. Any cars you'll get? You know what? That's I'm gonna look up while you guys just stare at me. There was a Bring a Trailer had a '98 Supra with 30,000 miles on it. Today, and let's see what it's sold at. Oh wait, no, it's still going. Current bid. Oh, it ends in 16 hours. So it's currently at $80,000. You can't really go off of that because the bidding sort of snowballs in the end. But I love to see what other cars sell for because it shows the general trend of the market. Let's see. I would like to pour myself a drink, but I would like to also answer your questions. How's the pasta? That's an excellent question because I had pasta for dinner, which seems to be, I don't know why, and it's not it's got nothing to do with the Rob Spaghetti thing. Pasta's sort of like my go-to because it's easy to make and it's consistently good. So like that's my couple days a week. I eat pasta. I love Italian restaurants. I love steakhouses, certain things, but pasta's my. You never see me upset with an Italian meal, unless it's crap. I will do another $500 car challenge in the winter. Mateo Medina, thank you for the super chat. He says, on the vet, how come the Willwood brakes over Brembo? Well, they were cheaper at the time. I did pay for those. I didn't get them for free, but I went with Willwood, and right now I've got too much brake on the car. So if I've got too much brake on the car, then what do I need more? The Willwood brakes, the only thing I have that's a problem with those is the brake bias, which I'll try to work my way around, but the rears tend to lock up, which is what it is. We just got to figure that out. It's just like, I wish I had somebody to race or a reason to get around to it. I know Rob Dahm is like clawing away at the four-rotor, but I see that as being like, oh, we got it working. Ooh, something failed. Ooh, there's fluids all over the place. So I don't think that's going to be race ready for a while. I think it'll be a lot of like we got it to run. We got it to go down the drag strip. We ran a 11.8 at whatever, at 140 miles an hour. But I don't see that as being race ready anytime soon, which is unfortunate because I'd love to race it. And if he beats my vet, which I don't know if he would do, I probably wouldn't do on a road course. He'd definitely beat me in a straight line, or should if the thing's tuned right and geared right. But assuming that he makes a car that's got triple the horsepower of mine, there's no reason he shouldn't win in a straight line. But as far as keeping it together, even for an autocross, I would sort of be impressed. Let's see. I got no. Who's this super chat for $10? Or is that still? Oh, that's still DM Design. Thought on B is for Build LS Huracan. Yeah, it just that's like prod. I don't know. That's YouTube stuff. I am not a. I'm not a fan of these like abortion builds. Like, yeah, we're gonna put a whatever, like a swap a like Rob's car where he swapped the Dorito motor into the Corvette. It's just I get it. You're looking for content and you can keep people engaged for a while, but you can really put any engine into anything. I could put a lawnmower engine into a Lambo, and I just don't see the um, deal of it. The Lamborghini, you're getting the Lamborghini by doing that, and like there's cheaper cars, there's cheaper platforms that you can do, but it's you guys thirst for watching people spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on stupid cars, and that's why people do it. I've just sort of grown out of that with the Corvette, and even my next Supra, when I sell this one, I get another one. It may need work. It may need a build. The Evo is going to be a dumb build because I can go buy one for $25,000 with everything we need in it, and just fix it when it breaks. Because even the one we build will break, and we'll have to fix it. But that's not the appetite of the internets. Let's say. At Tyler Chilroy has donated $200. This is for my Twitch read, or I donate more. I don't know what the hell that means. But put a Lamborghini tractor engine in a Lamborghini car. That's probably pretty close. Let's see. I've got just checking my messages here. Excuse me. So I'm looking at rental cars, and I'm trying to find a decent rental car in Scotland. Now I can rent a 360 Spider, which would make me happy on Turo. He's privately owned, but he's not giving me enough miles. And I don't see and I think that would be cool, but the fact that I'm going to be doing, just say 400 miles, maybe a little bit more. I don't want to spend $1,200 or $1,500 on the in euros, pounds, not even dollars on a rental car when I get one for $100. But it does make it more fun to go drive through Scotland in a Ferrari. The donk is on my list. That's going to be a November thing. So get the truck done, get the donk done. Those will all be very, very critical. The truck now is the big headache, with the injectors having to come out again, because I just spent, when I say I spent an easy $9,000 on that truck last year, easy. So I'm very annoyed with putting already plus so $30,000 into a garbage truck when I bought a brand new truck, and I'm into that new truck for $50,000. I would have rather buy another new truck. So recently purchased a Ferrari 360. Your videos are very helpful in the purchase. Thanks for the content. You got it. Enjoy the car. I'm glad. A lot of people seem to buy cars that I recommend, and I appreciate that. That means you guys trust my opinion. And I try to shoot it straight. When I see a car that's good, I say it's good. When I see a car that's shit, I'll tell you it's crap. What do you think the BMW will axe manuals in the U.S.? That is Mr. Bubbles asking. Thank you for the $2. I don't know when they'll axe manuals. I feel like manuals will always be around, especially for the European companies, because there's a giant demand for manuals in Europe. Not so much in the U.S., but there is a demand for manuals in Europe. So if they offer them in Europe, why not at least offer them in the US? Because like it's already there. You've got to design it. You've got to engineer it. So if Mercedes, especially, and Mercedes doesn't for some reason offer manuals at all in the US, only a select few cars. If you go on eBay and you search for Mercedes and then manual cars, you get like the CLK or like the C240 and like some CLK compressor garbage cars, which I've thought about buying as like an everyday car, but those are manuals, so that's nice to have that option. In at least BMW, Porsche, I see that. I don't really see McLaren ever coming out with another manual. I don't see Lamborghini or Ferrari doing so as well. until we really exhaust the performance of these engine, electric, hybrid, whatever cars. Now, did my friends call me spaghetti in high school? Nobody ever in my life has called me spaghetti until that one stupid video. And that's why I didn't like the nickname, because it's so stupid. It's like very dumb. I wish it was because I ate spaghetti a lot. But just the fact that spaghetti rhymes with Ferretti is just like facepalm. Tyler, you keep saying you've donated money, gave blah, 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 look in chat, but you didn't give money, and you just keep saying you've given money, and you're starting to get annoying. I'm going to put you in a timeout. I don't know how long I put you in a timeout, but 300 seconds, suck on that. Yeah, gotcha. Let's see. What's up? Danny LaRusso, good one. I was waiting to see you address that. I don't even say it. So that's the problem with the comments. I can't wrap my head around them because they keep coming from different directions. So let's see here. New Super Speeder series. I got a couple of them. One of them is going to be Driven to Eat. That's going to be fun. And I want to say, I can't compare it, because then like you'll just think of it while you're watching it. But diners, drive-ins, and dives / comedians in cars getting coffee / any other restaurant featurette, but involving cars, me, and somebody else, where I just go try some food somewhere and bring it to you. And the real reason behind that is just to mix it up a little bit, because I enjoy going to a lot of places, and I know a lot of good places. So I would like to share them with you guys. And I've got places I've been eating for 35 years of my life, and I would like to give them a little bit of a boost. And not that they're hurting for business in any way, shape, or form, but I like to sort of show off. I'm like, hey, you like pizza? I got a pizza place for you. You like sandwiches? I got sandwiches. You like burgers? Burgers. I got you. So I will definitely get into that. I've got like 2 or 3 other series. I want to do a series, and I won't give you the names, but something playing off the Project Car Challenge. I'll do another Project Car Challenge, do another $500 car challenge. I will keep those going this year. As I mentioned, I was busy, so I didn't get around to filming those, because that takes a little bit more of a concerted effort. Do people still buy physical Super Speeders DVDs? They do, not to the extent that they used to. I'm gonna do, because we have another Adventure Drive trip coming up in a couple of weeks, the 23rd to the 27th. And I'll probably give away another spot on that. People seem to like that with the t-shirt giveaway. And since I don't want to redesign another t-shirt, I may do that with like DVDs or stuff that I upload in the store. And for every, say, $5 you spend, you get entries. And then I'll pick somebody to win. And they can come down. And the trip we're doing in October is going to be fun, because we're starting in Charleston, going to Savannah for lunch, which Savannah's like a cool little place. They filmed some things from Forrest Gump down there. Then we're going down to St. Augustine for the night, staying in St. Augustine, going to Daytona Beach in the morning, then over to NASA, and then from NASA we're going over to Disney. We're going to go to Epcot, staying at the Waldorf Astoria, and we're going to go to the Epcot Food and Wine Festival. And if you've never been to Epcot as an adult, you're going to be drinking around the world. At least I am. And you guys can either watch, join in, or do something else. But that's what I'm going to be doing. Every time I go to Disney, I'm with my family, so I can't go be the obnoxious, like, blah, 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 blah. And there's, I want to say 12 or 14 places there. And you're not drinking, like, you don't get a pint of Guinness and drink the whole pint. You'll get, like, the smaller ones. But you're still having 14 drinks. And even if some of them are just shots, you're feeling pretty good at the end of that at the end of that loop. So that'll be cool. Hit that like button. I like it. Is there even a like button? There is a like button. Can I hit my own like button? No, I guess not. Well, I tried. And then we're going from there to Miami, and I'm looking forward to that. So we're going to be staying down on Miami Beach. On the beach, everybody can throw their feet up, relax, and I think it's going to be a nice, relaxing, fun trip. So, 5 people disliked because they drive Hondas. Where are even the likes or dislikes? I can't tell. Hit the like buttons. Is there? Can you dislike? Hit some dislikes and likes. I just want to see if it goes up and down, or do you just unlike your like? Whatever. What am I doing with the $1,000 Benz? I'm driving. Drive it because why not? My other car's sitting in the garage, and I'll road trip the other cars. But as far as driving every day, like? I don't get the driving a boss car every day. I think it's. I mean, if you've got money like that and you don't care, great. But I prefer to, like, I still have a mortgage on my house. If I have a mortgage on my house, why am I going to go borrow more and more money? Not on the sports cars, which I enjoy, but on an everyday pedestrian to and from work car. And that's why I'll probably, because nobody really cares about the Maserati I bought. If that was at all of interest to the people on the channel, I would have kept it for a while. But since it's not, I'm going to send that thing sailing. And when I say sailing, I'm going to sell it. And that should be a quick sale. It'll get 28, 30 grand very quickly. I was wrong on my video. I thought it was like 16 grand I was into it. I'm like 17 and change into it. I didn't say I was selling the $1,000 Benz, but I might if somebody really wanted it. $1,000 cars to me are $1,000 cars. I buy them, I drive them until they stop working, and like I'll spend a couple of bucks to fix them. I spent probably at least like $600 or $700 so far in maintaining that car, which to me is nothing as far as the ownership of a $1,000 car. To spend $600 or $700 to fix it over, let's just say 2 years now. Now maybe I got it before last winter, so maybe a little over a year, maybe, I don't know, however long I've owned it. But to have a car for that long and spend $500 or $600 to maintain it brings my cost of owning that car down to $40 a month, $40 or $50 a month, and that is what it should be for an everyday car. I don't get the idea that you have to pull up to a valet and look cool. I don't look at somebody getting out of a Mercedes or a leased Audi or any Audi for that matter, whether they leased it or own it, and say, like, wow, that guy's cool. Like, I see people in fun cars and fun situations, but just like if you pull up in a Ferrari 488 to the supermarket, I'm not like, look at that cool guy. I'm like, why is that guy driving a 488 to the supermarket? Let's see here. Stand by. Sorry, just respond to this. Who's Matt Farah? Appears to be doing a podcast on the streets. Interesting. Anyway, so yeah, I'm looking forward. I don't know how many people are down in the Orlando area, but if you are, come say what's up. When we go to Disney, you probably have a season pass, as you should. Although Disney's getting a little wild with the pricing down there. But I have, let's see, what else do I have? The supermarket. Why am I just catching random words in there and they're just throwing me off? Let's see. Let me jump on a question real quick. Let me tell you about my IPOs, because I bought a bunch of IPOs. I've been dabbling now. I'm like, you know what? Let me just throw some. When you get, I'm coming up on 40 next September. I'll be out at Oktoberfest in I'll be at the Oktoberfest in Munich next year. And I was like, that's complete stuff. But I said, you know what, let me start throwing like $1,000 a month here or there into some IPOs, because you read all these articles. If you invested in Google in 1995 and 30 years later, you'd have $1.3 million if you invested $1,000, whatever it is. And I was like, you know what, let me just plant some seeds. Let me drop $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 in all these different IPOs and just plant them and just play the long game. Because most IPOs, you look back at Facebook. I remember Facebook came on the market at like 55, it was down to 18, now it's up in the hundreds. So imagine, and I guess it would be nice to buy it after the dip, but even at 55, it tripled in value in 10 years or something like that. It's 300% growth, which is awesome. So I'm playing the long game on a lot of that. Put slow chat on. How do I do slow chat? I didn't even know that was a thing. Popular pop out chat participants toggle timestamp on whatever. But my recent IPOs have all sucked hard. And then I try to reposition when they go down, and then like even Smile Direct Club, put in money, lost 30%. Then I was like, you know what, double down, doubled my position, lost another 17% the day after I doubled my position. And I was like, whoa. Then I've got work, which is Slack, which we use at the office. So yeah, Slack, it's the name of the game. Tanked, down 30 or 40%. Uber, tanked. So these Bitcoin people are looking pretty smart right now. But I am just letting you know, if you have money to invest, don't give it to me. Unless you're cool waiting a long time and you're very patient. Don't hear you calling out Dom no more. Scared, LOL. All right, what's your name? Your name is JayZ Fox. Everybody else, just me and JayZ Fox right now. A, you're here a little late, because we covered that earlier. B, I look forward to racing him and watching his Dorito car break. The name of the game with him is a lot of horsepower, crazy build, and you're going to pay attention to it, right? Because that's what YouTube is. But that's not going to make it a very competitive race car. I think just the fact that he designed it and built it. I rebuilt my Corvette engine once, and I was very proud of it. I took my engine apart, put a new cam in it, swapped the heads. I was super proud that, like, when you fire it up and you're like, can't believe it works, right? Heads and cam is a pretty simple job, but I did that myself in my parents' garage. I was so proud of it. Lifted a head gasket, or blew a head gasket within 3,000 or 4,000 miles. And I brought it in, let somebody else do it, never touched it again. But I was super proud of the fact that I was able to do that. And then you realize I probably shouldn't be doing that. I think Rob's along those lines of like, shouldn't be building cars like that. You can make them run, you can make the novelty, but he's not going to make anything that's race ready. Since then, my Corvette has seen tons of investment through tons of companies, and it's a formidable track car. It's not the best street car, but it is a formidable track car. If you saw just the performance of that car running against other cars on either of the Project Car challenges, so I was putting down, even though I didn't have nearly the horsepower of some of the other guys, I was running the pump gas, I was running street tires, I was putting down faster laps than everybody else. Even though it didn't go 40 laps, the laps that it did put down in short form, it put down faster laps. And on top of that, it put down faster laps on inferior tires, inferior gas in some circumstances. And it was around Sebring, less than a second behind Lou Gelati, who's a professional tuner, in a modified 2019, 2018, whatever it was at the time, C7 Z06, which is modified and built to be a track car. So the fact that I'm within a second of a car that's 20 years newer, built by a professional tuning shop, I will happily race Rob Dahm any day of the week in more than just a straight line race. Because in a straight line race, the dumpster with the fastest car wins. So the fastest, the most horsepower. It's just the name of the game. Like you put 20,000 horsepower into a living room table or a couch, you got. You can get a dumpster and just drop a monster engine, in it, and it can beat virtually anything in the quarter mile. No aerodynamics, no safety concerns. But when it comes to a road course or it comes to anything else that's an actual like measure of the quality of the car, even if he has his fastest lap, will be very, very similar. I'm very happy with the benchmark that I've set with my car. So everybody else should come back in now. We're done with that little private chat. Yeah, 20,000 horsepower couch rental, please. Yeah, I see where you're going with that. Stand by. Sorry to be doing multiple things at the same time. Virginia, have an appointment, North Carolina. Oh, I got somebody already interested in the 458 because of my Instagram story. How nice. Sounds like a plan. All right, so I'm back. To JayZ Fox, you have posted an emoji of some sorts. And I cannot make out what it is. But yeah, so Maserati update. There was one eager buyer. If you're eager in buying the Maserati, I'm happy to sell it. I should apply for fastest car Netflix. No, that's not a race with the fastest car. Which one is that? Is that the obstacle course or fastest car was the drag race one? The drag race one is stupid. It just builds up the premise, and you're rooting for the poor people to beat those rich assholes. Sorry, excuse my language. I'm not the biggest fan of that show. And then everything's over in one shot, and half the people don't know how to launch, blah, blah, blah. I'm just not really interested. The other one, Hyperdrive, what's the difference? Fastest car in Hyperdrive. Hyperdrive was the one with the obstacle course. That was the dumbest show I've ever seen in my life. I skimmed through like one or two things, and then I said, wow, this is very stupid. The premise, and even Bull Run had a TV show a long time ago. The premise of people like breaking and beating up their own cars for 15 minutes of fame. And I'm not talking about racing and putting them through their paces for what they were designed for, but like trying to pull onto the moving flatbed and everything like that. Very stupid. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand why. I don't understand why that's appealing to people. And I definitely don't understand why people are willing to jack up their cars for that 15 minutes of who gives a damn. But I guess I have people looking at me, so I'm not in the position where I'm trying to be noticed. See, even somebody said the Bull Run was wicked. No, it wasn't. It was stupid. Let's see. Hey Rob, would you like the 2020 Stingray? I've got 2 Stingrays coming in January. As long as the whatchamacallit is done. As long as the strike settles itself out, I should be getting my cars in January. If it doesn't, then they may be delayed, but I'll still get of the first cars. You should race Cletus's cars. I'm happy to race Cletus's cars. Cletus is I still got the Mickey Mouse shirt, by the way. Cletus is one of those guys that, like, he's like, look, let me know when you're doing an event. I'm there, and I like that guy. I like that guy who isn't afraid to show up, and showing up and looking to win. And I like that. And I when I show up, I look to win. It sucks that I post the events, because when I host the event and then I look to win, everyone's like, well, you're just making it so you can win. I'm like, no. I'm making it so that, like, and you can tell me if there's an event that belongs in this that would help find the fastest car. And if all you care about is the fastest car in a straight line, then watch day one. Skip everything else. But if you want to see what the best built car is, and ideally what the best built car can do in a certain on a certain road course or a certain place, then it's a whole nother game. If I have any, let's just say, desires or things left to do, I'd like to probably send my vet out to the Nürburgring. And yeah, I get Cletus's cars rip 7 seconds, but they also, Cletus and I ran our cars, and running a 7-second car in the quarter mile doesn't mean it's going to do very much on a road course. Or in a half mile is usually pretty good. If you can run a fast quarter, can run a fast half. But when you start doing like fast laps, that's not really what the car's set up for. Yeah. Somebody else was trying to do, and I don't remember who it was. Somebody else was doing a project car challenge, or trying to do a project car challenge that I was tagged in that they wanted me to go to. And I ended up not going to it. It's in California or something like that. And I'm like, you know, I'm not going to make it out to California. The cost of me going out there is a minimum of $5,000 to get my car there and back, my flights there and back, my hotels there and back, and to spend $5,000 to go across the country for something like that. I don't know. Especially when it's doing the same event that I do. Thank you, Fat Man from Kentucky. Hi. You have now spammed, and you go into timeout. Oh wait, no, I just deleted your message. I want to put you in a put user in timeout. That's what I want to do. 300 seconds. Suck on that. Are you going to Race Wars? No, Race Wars. That's the one. Yes, Hussein. Thank you for that. I am not going to Race Wars. Look at Insta. I just messaged you, mate. I will. So you have my attention now. Hi, you selling that car? Yes. Eugene, I don't know if that's the one. Eugene looking for a promo code for Sheath. I'll look that up. This guy, I'm watching you live right now. Okay, I don't know who's, whatever, whoever sent me a message. We'll get to that later because you didn't seem to have anything important to say. Wait, can you time me out? Yeah, I can time you out, homie. If that's what you want, that's how you get off, I will happily time you out. So yeah, so the house update, the video I shot today was a house update as far as the process in building, the cost associated with my house. And you guys want to throw some guesses on how much my house is going to cost to build? I'd like to see what you think before I start. So throw some numbers in the comments. Now, 8 million is wrong. The square footage of the floor, the first floor is 2,073 square feet. The second floor is probably similar, and the basement is about the same. So I'm just curious as to what people are estimating. Okay, that's interesting. You guys are actually in the ballpark because a lot, well, see, except for Tony. Tony's more of along the lines of what I was expecting. Because a lot of people like, wow, yeah, you can go buy a gorgeous house in Dallas for $450,000, complete with an acre of property and like a 5,000 square foot house. So I'll get to those in a second. I've got David T here, Tro $5. And he said, I feel my 18 BMW F30 340i xDrive M Sport. There's way too many words and letters and numbers describing your car. Is the perfect one-car vehicle, especially for New York. It's all-wheel drive, 6-speed manual, turbo inline 6, 320 horsepower. Prove me wrong. It's hard to prove you wrong because there's so many cars that sort of fit that description. That they're 300, so that's like a standard sedan. And it's nice, but there's Audis that are equivalent. There's Mercedes that are equivalent, except for the 6-speed manual. But like Audis, like an A4, or even the BMW, the 3 Series, they're just good, staple, all-around cars. One of the cars that you probably don't expect me to like, which has actually caught my eye, and which is the Hyundai Equus, and that was a $90,000 car, and you get them with like 20,000 miles on it for 20 grand. For like a 3-year-old car that lost like 80% of its value. But if I've driven in the back of one, let me sneeze. Thank you. If you've driven in the back of one, driving in a Hyundai Equus is like sort of like being in a Maybach, but I mean, you definitely know you're not in a Maybach, but significantly less. All right, let's see what we have here. So if somebody thinks my house is going to cost $8 million, keep thinking that. 900,000, 700,000, 500,000, 4 million, 3 million. 850,000, 800,000, 650, 625, 580 for material and labor, 250, 789, 723 is the bid over 200,000. Yes, 300,000 less than more than 300,000 less than $1 million. That's Alex, and that is completely accurate, but not if you include the property. 800,000, 900,000, 480, 750, 1.25 in total. I didn't mention that. I was asking how much the construction is going to cost, not how much the total is going to be. 700,000, 2 million, 650,000, 650. Oop, where do we go? Just scream them out. Let's see. So the general consensus, 850 to $1 million, 942, 178 max for that piece of poop. Final value should be 1.3. 26,000 for the Maserati. Yeah, it's not bad. 26,000, you're close to me entertaining it. Richard, 685. 700. So yeah, a lot of you guys are actually in the ballpark. And that's the video that I just shot today to discuss that. Cool Kev, you're close. So shoot me an email, rob@superspeeders.com, and you'll have yourself a Maserati. Some of you guys are a little high. I'm about 700 grand into it. Well, actually, not forget that. What I paid for the house is irrelevant, but the construction is going to be probably between 650 and 750,000, and that's with me just being on top of the process. I'm estimating probably about $400,000 in materials, and then $250 to $300,000 worth of labor, which, no matter how you think about it, it's a lot of labor. It's tough to write those checks, but all right, we've got I'll get back to the house in a second. We've got Jonas Raber. Thank you for the money. What is the most reliable car I've ever owned? You know, I've driven a lot of cars for a long time. Believe it or not, the Chevy Volt is probably the most reliable car I've ever owned because it had 0 maintenance issues in its entire 3 years. 0. So That's what's gonna hold the crown for now. Aaron Qualis said, "What's the depreciation of the C7 Corvettes over the next 12 months with the new C8 coming out?" You can get the C7s right now for spectacular deals. The Corvettes that I bought for the rental fleet, usually 20 or 30,000 off MSRP. Now, it's granted it's a higher MSRP. The closer you get to like 50 grand, they're going to bottom out and they're not going to see that significant discount. But I think the C7s are a great buy, and they're, and more importantly, a great car. And I wouldn't look at them as a collector car, like the last of the front-engine Corvettes. But I would suggest that if you want a car and you want a great value on a car and something that's going to pretty much hold its value better than most of the other Corvettes, the C7 is not a bad way to go. But yeah, the house build is probably going to cost me $650 to $750 realistically. Now, I've gotten bids on stuff for like even the foundation. I'm trying to bid it out, and then this is the crux of my videos I'm putting up tomorrow. Is I try to make sure I'm getting my values worth, right? Like, I want to make sure I'm paying for something that I can shop around and make sure I'm not overpaying. And even anything. If somebody says I'll do everything for $600,000 and he doesn't give me a breakdown, I don't know where that is. He may be skimping on something. When you give me a breakdown, I can see, okay, you're charging me 20 for demo. This guy's charging me 12 for demo. It's a big gap. So I'm going to use him for the demo. I'll use you for this because he's charging me 100,000 for finishes. You're charging me 70,000 for finishes. So there's that. But I was a little surprised because I've seen my brother spent, I think, 150,000 to renovate his house, and it looks nice. It's smaller, and he didn't finish the basement. But I always thought, like, when you can see a nice house in Dallas or anywhere else that was built from scratch and sell for less than it's going to cost me to renovate mine, who knows? So everything's eye-opening, but I'm just going to make sure I get my values worth. Somebody's getting, let's see, I'll put you a timeout. This guy from Kentucky, you're also going to get a timeout. You get 2 timeouts, and then you get the axe. It's my little fiefdom here. I can off you fools. Can you make me a mod? I'll deal with the spam. Yeah, got it, brother. How do I make a mod? Add moderator. There you go. You have the power. Worst car I've ever owned. Probably my ramp truck. This is going to be the worst car I've owned thus far. The ramp truck just sucks the life out of me. It seems to break. Yeah. What's the deal with the not filming in the property thing? So right now there's an order that says part of the condition of my approval is I can't film on my property. So I'm not going to film on my property. I am contesting that, and I have filed a legal challenge to see if that's in violation of my rights or not, because I feel that it is. And if it is, then I'll look to have the illegal provisions stripped from my approval. But until this point, like right now, there is a standing order as a condition of construction that I can't film from my property. There's nothing that says I can't film from my property outside of the construction process, because that's been incredibly vague and unclear to this point. I went to the mayor and council meeting this past week just to voice my concerns and be like, look, there's a lot of gray area here. And the problem with gray area is, like, A, it allows people to do stuff they shouldn't be doing, but also it makes you more like a homeowners association. So you can make claims and hold stuff against people that aren't really doing anything that they shouldn't be able to do, but nobody's challenged it because you're leaving it so vague. So why don't you make stuff that's specific, and if it needs to be legally challenged, it can be legally challenged and modified. And that's sort of what I'm sort of pressing towards, is that, you could say whatever you want, but everybody in the town, there's no homeowners association. You're entitled to your rights, and if your rights are violated or stripped, then you're going to see legal challenges. It's a wealthy town, and we'll make sure that everybody. That's not the job of the planning board. The job of the planning board is to make sure that the construction is to code and within the core, the master plan of the town. And the master plan says, like, we want historical houses on with this sort of space on them and stuff like that. So that's the job of the historical board. But then you can't approve everybody and then not approve that guy because he's Jewish, because he's black, because you don't like what he does for a living. Like that's a violation now of somebody's rights. Or say, like, well, if you weren't Jewish, you could build this. That's the extent of what they really did, which is this time they voted the same house through effectively, but said, we'll vote it through, but you can't film on your property. So now they're saying we're going to put what I think is an illegal stipulation on something in exchange for passing it, but it should have been passed to begin with because it's well within the confines of what everybody else with both smaller and larger properties have been approved for. So let's see. All right, back to your comments. I'm going to bail out of here in the next like 4 minutes. So if you guys want to zing any comments at me, knock yourselves out. Yeah, the Z3 went for 10 grand, so 10 or 11 grand. It was an M Roadster, not a Z3 though. Put up a green screen and pretend you're not home. It's not even worth it. Like, can you mod? Jesus, with the mods, I've already got mods. I don't need more mods. Can I please be a mod to protect your chat? Mod. Is it a hot dog cart in the background? Right now, it's an ice cream cart, I think. No, it's a hot dog cart. Well, it's mixed. The umbrella's hot dogs right now, and then the bottom's ice cream. But both of those can flip around. So right now, it's a multi-use cart. Have you seen the 2021 i8? No. Hurricane Evo, as I said, that's a December project. Burnt-a-con. B is for build. Burnt-a-con. What do you think? I don't know. I don't follow it, so I don't know. If you're talking about his Huracan with the LS that somebody mentioned earlier, then I gave my thoughts earlier. Mods, you have permission. If somebody keeps getting, you have to keep deleting somebody, just kick them out. Throw them out of our little kingdom here. Why are you streaming from your daughter's room? Sorry, I got here a little late. It's not my daughter's room. This is my apartment that I live in right now. Full of candy and stuff. It's the kitchen, but it's a downstairs, and then there's an upstairs. So it's a 2-story apartment. I think I did a video on it about like 2 years ago. And I was like, well, at least I'm only going to be here for 6 months. That video 2 years ago. But at least there's light at the end of the tunnel now because I get to build my house and I get to move out of here. I think this place smells like wet dog. And I used to think it was my dog, but then my dog died. And we've had the place cleaned several times since then. So we have a cleaning lady that comes and it still smells like wet dog when I walk in. So I just think it's the vents or something from other places. I have not gotten a bill from GMAC or whoever financed the other thing. No, I did not. I wasn't thirsty. And I did want to drink, but since I started the live stream before I was able to pour a drink, there are certain rules to YouTube, and I can't pour drink it. And just I'll have a drink afterwards. But yes, Rob for mayor. It's funny. I have such a small town. I could probably win the mayorship. yeah. So I think I'm going to bail out of here. You guys, I will see the Scotland people in Scotland. Shoot me an email, rob@superspeeders.com. If you know where I can get a car, borrow a car, rent a car, that would be fun, because it's going to be a scouting trip for adventure drives in Scotland next October. And I would like to be able to shoot a couple of clips with like sports cars or something fun. But if that's not possible, then so be it. Have I ever had a point suspension? No, my license has been suspended. Yes, my home license has been suspended in the past, but I don't remember for what. A long time ago. I have had a valid license since at least the last decade. All right, Chris Brower, I see what you did there, and your ignorance is getting you banned. How am I banning you? Hide user on this. User's messages will be hidden. So he spelled out an ignorant word that could be offensive to some people. So he's gone. Anyway, not talking politics tonight. I'll do another live stream at some point in time. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you jumping on here. I'm glad you are not doing anything on a Wednesday night, that you had the time to join me. Thank you very much. I will see you on the channel tomorrow with some uploads, and take it from there. Signing out.